Hey guys, we're talking about giant crankbaits, the Strike King 10XD in particular. I'll just give you a little rundown about some things I do to modify the bait a little bit, and the type of combo that I throw it on. Um, so just to put it simple, that's a giant crankbait, the Strike King 10XD. It's kind of this. It's part of this new trend, which is just making these giant baits that can dive to these, depths where fish has never seen a crankbait, and that poses some kind of unique challenges to your equipment, and just gives you a couple of new challenges to kind of deal with. So I'll start first with just what I do to the lure itself before I fish it, and I do the same thing that Matt over at Tactical Bassin does. If you've ever seen his videos, they're really good. I think he's a guide on Clear Lake or one of those lakes out west. And one thing you want to do if you want to be a good fisherman, when somebody who's a really good fisherman gives you a tip, you need to listen to it. So I was watching his video, and basically what he recommended doing was, when you get your bait, go ahead and trade out the hooks, get some owner stingers in the 1/0 size, and switch out those treble hooks. And this is a hook that I've used a lot on other crankbaits. It's just a very popular treble to switch out. I've already been using these, so naturally I agreed with him that this would be a good one to switch out. So get the 1/0 stingers on there, and then just go ahead and switch out your split ring too to an owner number 4 hyper split ring, and that just makes it a little easier to tie your knot up there so you don't have that giant split ring. And then another thing you want to do, go ahead on that back hook and add that extra split ring on there. That way, if the fish gets this in its mouth and it's kind of hanging out and it's jumping and it's shaking side to side or anything, this extra little ring is going to let that bait move around a little bit more so that fish can't get any leverage and throw that bait off, because this is a giant 2-ounce bait. So it'll just help keep the fish from throwing that bait. So let's get to the rod and reel. Starting first with the rod. This is a 13 Fishing Envy. This is the Crankinstein. I know that's upside down, but there we go. The Crankinstein. I thought that was really awesome because over at bassresource.com, if you're familiar with that site, that's actually my username over there is Crankinstein. I had that before the rod, so I thought it was really cool. I thought they were naming the rod after me or something, which they weren't, but still cool. It's a 7-foot 11 rod, and it's just got that special action that you need for throwing crankbaits and giant crankbaits, to be specific. So you need that long, I would definitely say at least a 7-10 to an 8-foot. You want that long rod so you can make a nice long cast and bomb one of these things. That way you can cover a lot of water. And then you need a nice powerful reel. There's lots of options out there. I chose not to break the bank this time. I went with the Garcia Orra Winch, which has got that nice low gear ratio we're all familiar with for deep diving crankbaits, and it's got a little extra line capacity on it, and it's a pretty cheap reel. You can get one, I forget what they go for now, around $100 or so, depending on what sale you're at or whatnot. I think I got mine on the Christmas sale, so I got a little bit of a deal on it. And I just put I've got Sunline Sniper 12-pound fluorocarbon. That's just a really standard fluorocarbon. I've been using it for a while, and I had some sitting around, and I think 12-pound is pretty good. It's going to let this bait get deep, and it's still got some strength to it in case you hook up with a big one. Some guys like to drop it down to 10-pound and get it even deeper. Some guys, opt to get a little bit stronger line, maybe 15-pound. Really, you want to just match it to what depths you're wanting to hit with this thing. And I haven't been fishing this rig too much, so 12-pound is usually where I start at, and then from there I'll go up or go down depending on how it works. So that's basically the gear that you need. There's a lot of guys that have been putting huge numbers into the boat throwing these things. So I hope this video has helped you out. I know that as someone who uses a lot of crankbaits, you know, when you see one of these things in person, it's apparent right away that you can't just throw it on your regular cranking rod and be successful. You really have to get out the big guns to use this thing. So I hope this video was helpful. Hope you get out on the water and catch some hogs. Have a good one.